Hello and welcome Capricorns to the Zodiac series. Thank you so much for being here. So this is for October. So keep in mind these are collective and general. Receive what aligns, release what doesn't. Never give your power away to a reading or an outcome. Remember your conscious creator. And you shift and change your timeline with your free will choice. Okay. So before we get into this, I did have a message from Spirit that came through to share with all the Zodiac signs. And as I was getting out my decks for this series, this popped out, and this is a lid of a candle, and it's the Be Fearless candle. And it speaks about the importance of bees and the importance of pollinators. So take some time today as you're watching this to maybe go ahead and look into the significance of the bee, the significance of the pollinators, learn something new that you didn't know before, learn about how we maybe are unintentionally hurting the pollinators and how we can support the pollinators better and just be well-informed humans, working in harmony with nature. Okay, so that's a message that came through. So let's get into this energy. All right, so Capricorns, we have Coming of Darkness and we have Molasses. You had two cards that came through. So there is the sense of, with the Coming of Darkness, there are endings happening. Depending on where you are in the earth, it's autumn time and the leaves and the trees are starting to turn and release. So there are things that are not serving you anymore that you're ready to release. There are timelines ending so that new things can begin. And what Spirit's kind of preparing you for is with the Molasses is to move forward, you must know where you are headed. Okay, so it's important to know the direction that you want to move in. What's this new timeline? How exciting is it? We had the eclipse season, we had the full moon, which is all about pushing us out of our comfort zone, right? Taking aligned action. So this is, where do you want to go? What's next for you? What's next for you, Capricorn? Because there is a timeline or there is something that is ending. It could be something, it's been withering away. It's not something where it's like sudden, something that I feel like have been manifesting, wanting, ready for. So whether that is like a shift in your career, releasing, it could be literally anything for you, right? You're just going to have to tap into that. But it's something that was kind of keeping you stuck that you are releasing. It could be old energy even. It could be an old identity. If you look at this card here, there's that window is open and that fresh air is flowing through, which I feel is the element of air is going to be important for you here, Capricorns. There's also a candle there. So there's also the element of fire that is coming through too. But with the Molasses energy, it's like a sweetness. It feels like perhaps there's been a lot of density and heaviness and grief and, sending you lots of love and healing energy if that's something that you've been moving through, whether that's just collectively what's happening or in your own personal experience. But there's a sense of like, okay, I'm ready for life to get sweeter. I'm ready for life to be created more by my design. And I want to focus my time and energy. I'm saying focus because there's some crystals there. Focus my time and energy and my intention on what I want to build moving forward. And now you're looking forward. You're looking forward into this next timeline and what it looks like. And sometimes you can just meditate and sit on that, just see what shows forward, what comes forward through you. Sorry, I just got distracted because there was a huge hawk that just flew. So yes, that might be helpful for you with your perspective, is to just kind of sit with it, what does my next timeline look like, my higher timeline? Close your eyes. Imagine yourself opening up the door and just allow it to reveal itself to you, okay? Just like that window's opening, you see there's that pathway and there's, that tree that has, those beautiful autumn colors, and there's that little pathway, a winding path to another location. Maybe for some of you, it's a relocation. So there is a rebirth that is happening. There is a release also that is happening in your experience. And you're ready for some sweetness. You're ready for some lightness. Your soul truth card is, when was the last time I couldn't stop smiling or laughing? Go back to a moment when you laughed so hard you almost peed your pants or did. Feel the laughter grow in your body, your cheeks hurting, eyes watering. Maybe there's even a snort or two. Laughter is healing. It reminds us to take life less seriously, to find joy in the little things. And today's soul action is make somebody laugh today. Okay, make somebody laugh today. Humor is also great at dispelling fear. Humor is a genius way to dispel fear. So bringing more humor in, maybe like if you're very weighed down by things that are going on, make sure that you're maybe putting on like a comedy, maybe your favorite comedian or something and watching that. or you're just finding the humor of things, even if it's dark humor, finding the humor where you can, laughing, allowing yourself to have those releases that will also shift your frequency, which is really powerful. When we get into the theme, or kind of like what's going to be highlighted in October, we have the energy of child coming through. So this could be your inner child. This could be a child that is important to you, that is significant in your experience. Some of you could be perhaps wanting to have children. That's something on your mind. But the other energy about the child is like, for most of you, it feels like there's a lot of inner child healing. And it's like you've been doing this healing work, and this next level, this next timeline is like almost like you're looking at things through the eyes of a child. So there's more joy. There is a release of a lot of like the jadedness, or a lot of the fear and things like that, right? And so there's a sense of a fresh perspective, almost like a rebirth happening. I'm seeing the world card in my third eye in tarot, like right now. So it's like this rebirth that's happening, where you've done this healing work, you've shed a lot, you've released so much, and now it's like this fresh new energy on this timeline that you have moving forward. And it's quite beautiful, it's beautiful because it's like a new beginning. It's like a fresh start. It's like and I don't want to say a second chance, but it's like we go through ego death. We go through changes, right? Our identity shifts and changes. We evolve and grow. And it's like, I feel like it's something, Capricorn, you're embracing, and you're ready for a new adventure. You're ready for a fresh beginning. You're also ready to come from like this healed space. You're ready for a more healed timeline. You're ready to come from a healed space. You're ready to come from a place of joy and excitement and lightness and whimsy, and maybe some fantasy too, right? So then I asked, okay, how can you have more fun? We need to have more fun. How can you have more fun in October? We have the 10 of Cups, and we have the Ace of Pentacles. And it's investing in what brings you happiness, but it's also investing in your highest timeline. The Ace of Pentacles is a big opportunity. That's a new house, a new car. It could be a significant down payment, right? But it's like, where are you, investing your time and energy, or your finances? Is it bringing you happiness? Is it in alignment with your, your frequency, with your higher timeline, right? Do you have like these, not just energy leaks in your experience, but like energy leaks in the form of finances, where it's like, maybe you have subscriptions that you're, have been taking from, your accounts, and like you forgot about them or something like that. Like, this is looking at like, okay, where am I investing my time and energy and money? Is it bringing me happiness? Is it helping me build my higher timeline? And the 10 of Cups is also it's not like the 9 of Cups. The 9 of Cups is like very, very much like individual success, individual happiness or joy or wish coming true. But the 10 of Cups is like, there's a whole family there. So it's like what you're investing in, and it's helping not just with your happiness, but it's your higher timeline for others too. It's the higher timeline for others and their joy. So it feels like, Capricorn, either what you're investing in very much has to do with like community, has to do with other people, has to do with assisting others, right? But it's also assisting you too. It's bringing your value forward. Now, yes, the Ace of Pentacles, it can represent money, the material world, but I feel it's also value, and it's your value. Is it your spiritual gifts and abilities, and you're sharing them? Is it your, just your kindness and your generosity? What is it? But it feels like whatever it is, it's like, it's tied in with other people. It's benefiting and supporting other people. And I think that you might have recently had a perspective shift too, and maybe look at Leo's messages that came through, because there are really strong messages about where you focus your time and energy and what you're feeding, essentially. And the Ace of Pentacles is like, you planted the seed, the pumpkin has grown, and now it's ready, right? So something is going to be ready. It's going to bring in a lot of joy and happiness, not just to you, but to other people as well. It might even be like a little bit like, I'm seeing like almost like family chaos, but like in a very positive way, when like the kids are running around screaming and having fun, and like think about like the energy of like Christmas morning. Like, it's like a big thing. It's a big thing. So it could also be an invitation of some sort that comes through that brings in a lot of happiness and joy, right? But you're just looking at, Is what I'm investing in bringing me happiness and joy and bringing me to my higher timeline? Now, when I looked at where you're at on your timeline here, Capricorns, you have the Death card, the Moon, and then the Queen of Wands. So there is this sense with the Death card, which is transformation. That's obviously happening here. We have that with like coming of darkness. There's that release of that old identity of what doesn't serve you, just what's come to the end of its cycle in your life and in your experience. And with the Moon card here, it could be the end of illusions in your experience, right? Or the end of an illusion in your experience. It could be the release of something that was draining your energy, let's say, with that energy coming through here. And then the Queen of Wands is stepping into your power, stepping into your magic, feeling good. Like some of you might be like, you know what? There could have been something bothering you. It could be something physical. And you're like, I'm done with this. I'm ready to heal this. I'm ready to release this. Or it could be resentment or just some emotion you were holding on to and you're ready to let it go. And maybe you do that under the moon, you know, that could be something here. But like there's this element of connecting it with your passion, with your creativity, with your own personal magic, and deciding what you want to create moving forward. It's also what you want to magnetize and attract to you, too, because it does feel like there was a blockage or something that is clearing out of the way. You're stepping into your power and you're manifesting. You know, the Queen of Wands, also the entrepreneurial spirit too. So it could be that, you know, you are an entrepreneur, you're on that journey, and now you're feeling more inspired, more aligned, you're receiving downloads, you know, her crown is shining there, quite bright, you know. She's also aligned within. So taking time to meditate and connect in with, you know, to raise your frequency to this higher timeline that you desire, right? What you want to desire, what you do want to manifest in. The Queen of Wands is also very sexy. She feels great. She's, you know, magnetizing. She's a magnetic being, right? She's very magical and attractive. So that's kind of what is happening here. You know, it's like this old identity, this old energy is like chipping off of you. It's being released and quite naturally, right? And then you have this empowerment with the Queen of Wands. And again, I also said that, you know, if some of you are grieving and releasing, it might be like you reach a period of releasing some grief where you feel like, okay, now I feel like I have the energy to move forward and focus on some other things. And again, sending you lots of love and support here for those of you that are feeling that way, whether it's collective, what you are experiencing, observing, or, you know, just humanity in general right now, or something, you know, very personal to you. But it feels like the moon is your friend. There's that lunar energy support. There's honoring the ending of a cycle and moving forward in this Queen of Wands energy. Now we get into the kind of like the Halloween oracle message. We have Spider, and it says community and web weaving. So like I said, this was like you creating something for a community or for your family, right? That's what's coming through here is you're like, okay, I've reached a certain period where I'm ready to release, and now it's like I'm ready to show up for my community or start to build something and create with a web weaving. If you like, this reminds me of like the orb weavers. I love orb weavers. They're, you know, their webs are beautiful. They're beautiful spiders in general. And just like, this is you creating, being empowered and creating something for your community, something that benefits you, but also benefits others here too. You investing your time and energy into that. With a spiral's about healing. Okay. And so it's like you feel like now you're at that point where you're ready to do that. You're ready to create. You're ready to, you know, you've embodied the wisdom, you've gone through the experiences, and now you're ready to start to create something here that is beautiful, is beautiful for you, beautiful for your community. It's fulfilling. It brings value, right? You know, it's wonderful. And I, you know, personally, like, people fear spiders, and of course there's spiders that are dangerous, and it's understandable. But the spider also represents our shadow side. And the fact that you have the spider showing up now, it's like you've mastered a part of yourself. You've gone through things. You have, you know, you've gone through grief. You've gone through cycles. You've gone through death. You've gone through, you know, all these different themes in life, right? And maybe even like an ego death that you went through. And now you're going through this kind of rebirth energy. But it's like, you're kind of a badass. Like, you're not afraid of the spider. You're not afraid of the shadow, right? You're ready, you know, if anything, you're ready to integrate that and create and not be disempowered anymore, right? that's what's kind of happening here, I feel, with the spider energy. And I was actually looking, I love jumping spiders too. And I was looking at jumping spiders as pets because I was just curious, because I think they're the most adorable things. And whenever, there's actually one in here that's like this big. And first it was on my table and it showed up and I'm like, oh, hi. And it was like freaked out and then ran away. And now it's kind of like over in the corner, and like, I welcome jumping spiders. I like them. They don't bother me at all. But this just shows you that you faced a lot of fear. You've overcome it. You've integrated your light and your shadow. And now you can create this beautiful energy, experience, support, whatever it is, artwork, basically, like your own art now from your experiences, but in a very embodied way, in a very wise way, and also a satisfying way, right? So this is really important energy, and it's lovely, and I'm happy to see it. And like, I also see, like, look at all of that light. It's like there's this loving support. This is divine loving support that's here for you too. And yeah, I mean, maybe even look into spiders a little bit deeper if you haven't looked at significance, or maybe there's a certain spider that's been popping up in your experience, or, you know, you want to dive into, you know, maybe some different symbolism around spiders, you know. But this is significant for you. I mean, you really have, you've been through it, Capricorns, and you've integrated, and it's almost like unshakable. It's great. I really, you have this courage and this strength, and I honor that within you. And I feel like you are, this web that you're weaving, this magic that you're creating, is going to be manifesting in a lot of beauty and happiness and joy, right? And it's important too to like manifest from a space of joy, because things can actually happen faster because it's such a high frequency. And it's, yeah, but I feel like whatever it is, like your web, whatever it is that you're creating, maybe it's something online, I don't know, is attracting in a lot of miracles. And I feel like it's not just for you, but it's for others too. So keep going. All right. The other message we have is so cute. It's so cute. You got a little hedgehog. Hedgehog, so cute. So, you know, there's this sense of your experiences, you know, have taught you that it is important too that you repel the energies that don't align with you. So that's why I kind of get with a hedgehog, because, you know, hedgehogs are quite cute, but they've got those little spines right on their back. So there's a sense with a hedgehog of you protecting your energy, standing up for what you believe in. Like, you yourself might be very fairy-like and very cute and, you know, very pretty and ethereal, and people are like, oh, you know, but you also have, you know, you have a strong backbone, and you have some, you know, little spines if you need them, right? So I kind of sense that there is kind of this protection, or I don't want to say defensiveness, but you do know the significance of that. That's something important for you. Or maybe somebody has a pet hedgehog, and this is like, you're like, oh my gosh, yeah, this is my reading. Or I absolutely love hedgehogs, you know. That could be something here. But obviously, you know, there's a time to, like, I'm seeing the hedgehog like going on its path, and then, you know, curling up into the little spiky ball, right? And then going forward. So it's like your discernment, what you've experienced, is going to show you kind of who you can open up to and be more vulnerable with, and who you want to kind of close, you know, who you want to repel out of your experience, who doesn't have like the right intentions or things like that. We also have the handcuffs, and it says freedom on these. So it's like you're creating freedom in your experience with what you're releasing, but you could also be doing that for others here too, because those of us that, whether it's our physical experiences that we're moving through, our emotional or our mental, you know, energy blockages and mindsets that are blocking us and holding us back, like you are like the representation of freedom and breaking free. Like, that's the sort of energy that's coming through, and you're going to be shining bright. We have the mirror ball. Okay. So yeah, there's that disco ball. You're going to be shining bright here, Capricorns, in what you're doing, but maybe you like to dance and have more fun. And that's a call to it, you know, to enjoy your experience, to shine brightly here, and to not let, you know, to know that there can be duality existing at once, right? Like, it doesn't have to be one or the other, right? And so you're kind of alchemizing and bringing in more joy into your experience. And there's the reflection. This is another protective thing that's coming through too, is, you know, you can vision yourself like inside a mirror ball, right? And that only loving energies can reach you within. And then, like, people's, when they send energy to you, it's reflected, it's reflected back to them. So it's not something that you're, taking on their projections, basically. But there are also sparkles in this. I don't know if you can see on camera. So it's, it's like quite magical. It's like you're ready to shine and be magical now, Capricorns. For sure. Maybe you like sparkly things too. Or there'll be some sort of significant event or party for you coming up here. Then we have the cross, which is interesting. Some of you, that might be your faith, right? But some of you might be releasing yourself from any sort of belief systems that no longer serve you. That might be why you need some sort of like kind of that spiky, like defensive sort of energy. If there were like certain beliefs, limiting beliefs, or beliefs that are created around shame or control or fear, you're freeing yourself from that and you're moving forward. And it's in a very like, it's in a cute way. It's a hedgehog. Like, I just can't get over how cute that is. But as cute and small as like a hedgehog is, it's like, but you're shining really brightly for others as the example of like what's possible, right? So I love this. This was wonderful. Thank you, Capricorns. I hope this brought you value. Again, receive what aligns, release what doesn't. Never give your power away to a reading or outcome, right? And yeah, I do hope this helped you, kind of validated some of your experience, and also encourage you on your journey to create and build at this time, and to trust in your magic and trust in your embodied wisdom and your discernment, and know that you're worthy of good things. You're worthy of this, this lightness and this 10 of Cups energy and this value and this maybe even a gift. There might be even a significant gift that is given to you with the Ace of Pentacles that brings you a lot of joy or brings others a lot of joy here. But I feel like joy is definitely coming up here for you, Capricorn. So thank you so much. Take the best care, and I will see you soon.